half an hour. Now, like it or not, there's really only one story in town today, and it's the Melbourne Cup, that one day of the year where your average punter becomes a racing expert. And this morning, Media Puzzle remains the Cup favourite. Jockey Damien Oliver, also a sentimental favourite, following the death last week of his brother after that racetrack fall. But as with all big meets, the Melbourne Cup is far from being a one-horse race. And to take us through the field and to give us his tip for the Cup, we're joined now by racing journalist Racetrack Ralphy Horowitz. G'day, Racetrack.
Good morning, Steve, and nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than Melbourne Cup Day today here at Flemington. Gates open at 8 o'clock for those who are that keen, but as you said, the big race starts at 3:10 this afternoon.
Well, now, look, everyone seems to think an overseas horse is going to win the Cup. Even local trainers are saying that it's going to be won by the internationals. Do you think it's going to go overseas?
I think it definitely will be going overseas, either that way north to the northern hemisphere with either Dubai, England, Ireland, or maybe that way east to New Zealand. And if Distinctly Secret, the New Zealander, can win, well, then it'll make us Aussies proud, a bit like, you know, Russell Crowe or Sunline or Split Ends, those type of horses.
Ralphie,
performance from New Zealand.
Are the overseas horses better than the locals?
I think Vinnie Rowe, the top weight, no doubt is. His form certainly is. And it's also a cyclical thing, you know. Sometimes you have Australian champions like Saintly or Might and Power running in the Melbourne Cup. This year, Australia certainly hasn't got any of those type of horses. We've got horses who are tough old stayers, but I don't think they're as good as the European horses. All
right, well, now the sentimental favourites Media Puzzle won the Geelong Cup, broke the track record. What do you think?
Oh, I certainly think it's got an undeniable chance, Media Puzzle, and if you had have got on the 7th of August, that's what its odds would have been, 100 to 1. Have a look what it is now, $5.50.
Gee.
In it goes there. That's $5.50 there. The sentimental favourite, Damien Oliver, with not just the sentimental favourite, but also the favourite on form and the favourite, given that Damien Oliver is clearly Australia's best jockey. And that's the other reason the internationals are given such a good chance. While they're bringing the horses over, they're learning more and more about what it takes to win a Melbourne Cup. And one of those things is to use good, talented local jockeys. The other horse that is in that camp is Beekeeper, with the Godolphin horse from Dubai, of course, and they're using Kieran McAvoy, the young Australian superstar jockey who won the Melbourne Cup 2 years ago on Brew.
All right, now you've mentioned Distinctly Secret, but what about Vinnie Rowe and Pugin?
Well, Vinnie Rowe, it's clearly the best horse in the race, but he's got the good horse's weight, having to carry 59 kilos in the race. It's a very, very tough ask. Pugin was a horse who came second to Vinnie Rowe in the Irish St Ledger and meets him 5.5 kilograms better on that. The Melbourne Cup is a handicap race where the handicapper tries to even up the field, and Pugin at the weights is given an undeniable chance. As you see there, Vinnie Rowe, $6.50, Pugin's $8, and Distinctly Secret, my tip in the race, it was $12 last Thursday. Now it's into $7 there, Distinctly Secret, and that was mainly due to its fantastic run on Derby Day. All
right, so Distinctly Secret's your tip. What about a Ralphy?
Ralphy, well, you might be going all the way down to Thong Classic that won the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. It's not a bad lead-up race. We've seen horses like Kingston Rule come through the Moonee Valley Cup, and Thong Classic are 30 to 1. Might be something for a couple of dollars each way, but I'm more than happy to back Distinctly Secret with Stephen King on board. Stephen King won the Derby last Saturday. Like backing jockeys in form.
All right, just finally, old mate, Gay Waterhouse, she's not having a good Melbourne Spring Carnival.
No, not at all. She's unfortunately been charged by stewards for using the wrong evidence on Saturday when there was an inquiry into a horse, Platinum Scissors, that was scratched from the Derby on Thursday afternoon. On Thursday morning, she told journalists that the horse had worked really well. And when stewards had an inquiry into why, after working supposedly really well, it was scratched 12 hours later with an elevated temperature, she said no, the horse did work well. She's been charged with using the wrong evidence there. The inquiry's been delayed until Friday, and the precedent was last year. John Hawkes was fined under a similar code and was fined $7,500. Right. So certainly we hope the best there for Gay Waterhouse, but her Melbourne Spring Carnival hasn't been that good as of yet.
All right, well, let's hope the weather gets better and the track is fast. Good to talk to you all, mate.
Thanks very much, Steve.